We gotta start one more time. I forgot to press record. Last time it was automatic. Obviously, I sent a new one. Sorry. So thank God for that. Thank God I've remembered. Otherwise, oh.
Is there another party there tonight or what?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Well, in a minute after this call, there will be.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of Casino Live and Sports Betting Operator TV. My name is Peter White, and I'm the owner of this media. Today, we have Richard Marcus, Casino Table Games Protection Consultant and Trainer. Welcome, Richard.
How are you, Peter? I'm really happy to be here.
I'm very well, thank you. And what I'd like to do is send a big thank you to Thilo Schwanbeck and Andre Cook from the Casino Kiel, who have kindly lent us their casino to do this interview from. Could I commence this interview, Richard, with a question, just one, which is just a brief history, really, of how your journey has taken you to becoming a highly regarded international casino table game protection consultant and trainer. Okay.
Well, it all started after my career. I was a professional casino cheat for 25 years, traveling around the world, cheating casinos with a very highly sophisticated team all over the United States, Europe, Asia, even Germany, as a matter of fact. And finally, after 25 years, I decided there was too much heat on me, and I decided to stop. And I wrote a book about it. And the reason I wrote the book about it is because all during these 25 years, while I was doing all this, we would go, let's say we were in the islands in the Caribbean, and, during the day, the casinos were more or less closed or not busy. And during the day, we'd hang out at the beach and have fun like everybody else. And then at night, we'd go to work in the casinos. We called it going to work. And then after, like 2 or 3 in the morning, we'd end up like in a bar or at a club partying. And I was a cheat, not a liar. So when people at the bar would ask, like, what do you do? I said, well, I would tell the truth. I'm a professional casino cheat. I know I wasn't talking to casino staff. I'm a professional casino cheat. And I would tell stories, and most people didn't believe it. It's hard to believe the stuff that I did, and most people didn't believe it, but some did believe it, and those who believed it were fascinated by my exploits. And a lot of people I noticed would say, wow, you ought to write a book about that. That stuff's so incredible. So I ended up writing a book about it, and it actually, in the UK, it actually made the bestsellers list for a week. It was on the bestsellers list for 1 week, and of course, it was very popular in the casino industry. Casino executives read it, even dealers read it, and it was a big hit. And it was also the first time that anybody really read a history of a real live professional casino cheat. Not somebody just making up stories. And all of a sudden, not long after the publication of the book, I was requested to speak at other game protection conferences and seminars and all that. And at these conferences, it was the first time, like now people read about it, and it's the first time that they're actually seeing and watching a professional casino cheat describe how this happens, how cheating moves take place. And they, before I came out with all the stuff that I did, surveillance globally had no idea what I was doing, and really what high-level professional casino cheating was all about. So then one or two of them came up to me and said, would you be interested in coming down to our casino and training our staffs, table game staff and surveillance staff, how to protect ourselves basically against people like you, meaning me. and that's how it all started.
Excellent. Well, I mean, so what makes you different from other game protection consultants, would you say?
That's very easily said. Um, most game protection consultants, if not all, learn everything they know about cheating either from reading about it or being taught by their bosses. Generational thing, passing from one game protect consultant to the other through the years. Me, I did it. For 25 years, I did the cheating, and I give a much different perspective. I like to say, learning from me versus learning from other consultants is like if you're learning how to fly, do you want to learn how to fly in a simulator, or do you want to learn from a captain of 747? I like to say that because you're seeing it when you learn from me. I make you think like a cheat, and how can somebody else who hasn't been a cheat make you really think like a cheat? And that, in my opinion, that really helps casino executives or surveillance departments or whoever in the casino, and even the table game staff recognize uh, cheating as it's happening, not after the fact. Almost 99% of major casino scams are discovered after the cheats already are out the door with the money. So I try to reverse that and show people the subtle tells how to pick up on a casino cheating team before they actually, get your money. So that's the big difference.
I understand. So, particular anecdotes from your earlier career that you could share with viewers?
Oh, yeah, I could tell you a really great story. Since you're from the London or the United Kingdom, I could tell you one that happened there that's really funny. The first time our team, we were a very successful team, and the first time we went to London to cheat the casinos there, and first of all, it was a real challenge because I was forewarned that the staff, the casino staff, they were much sharper than the rest of the world. They just had a knack for catching on to scams in casinos. And the reason for that, Peter, is you might know this yourself, is that the Brits are the kings of deceit and duping people, and they did a great job of that during World War II, Operation Overlord, D-Day,
All right.
known in the English language, D-Day, right? And
Yeah.
they they duped the Germans with a whole bunch of just unbelievable bullshit to make them think that the Allies were landing in one part of Normandy when they were landing in the other. And had it not been for the talents of the Brits to be dubious and deceitful, D-Day wouldn't have been nearly as successful as it was. So I was warned about that, and I took it as a challenge, and I said, if I can, get it over on these London casinos, uh, I'm the best in the world because nobody could really do that, and I was determined to do that. And I was also told that the casinos in London were, completely different. They were classy, they were small, they were quiet, they weren't ringing and banging with slot machines. And like in comparison, American casinos are like a zoo. I mean, there's noise, there's people drunk all over the place. Not so in London, where people are well dressed, and it's a whole completely different atmosphere. So great, we got over there, and the one thing I wasn't told is that, well, to get in, and back in the day, to get into a London casino, you had to be a member. And not only did you have to be a member, you had to wait uh, 48 hours after you became a member
Yeah.
before you could get into the casino.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a cooling off law. Like when you buy a
Yeah.
gun, you have to wait 48 hours to go pick it up. So, I mean, here we are. There were four of us. We flew over to London. Before we got there, and back then, a pound was worth $2.40. So it was a fortune to go there. but we also knew when we got the money out of the casinos, it was a fortune to go home with. So we get there, and we're already down, $15,000.
Oh,
I'll talk in dollars. We're already down $15,000 before we even start. And we're all hyped, ready to go. And we thought we were going to just go to the casino and walk in. And so, there was a guy in a top hat outside holding the door open for us. Everything was strange, elegant, classy.
yeah.
We walk in, and there's a registration desk, and the girl at the desk goes, "Do you have your membership card?" And I said, "What?" And she said, "Yes, you need your membership card to get in." I said, "Well, I'm not a member." And okay, she said, "No problem. You just fill this out, and you could be a member." Now, that sounds easy. Well, that's easier said than done in my case, because you
Oh
have
yeah.
to remember I'm already maybe the most well-known casino cheat in the world, and I can't give my name, and I can't show ID saying that I'm me. So now we have a problem. So I said to the girl, "Okay, yeah, well, yeah, we'll come back later or something, right?" So now and she explained to me the 48-hour rule. So now wow. I mean, here we are all the way, and we made this trip. We're already down $15,000, and we can't even go to work. We can't even get in a casino. What are we gonna do? So we're sitting there. We're in a coffee shop. We're racking our brains trying to figure out how we're gonna get into these casinos without giving our name. And then, sure enough, boom, it hits me. Cab driver, taxi driver, right? I was once told a long time ago that next to prostitutes, cabbies will do anything for money. And now, I don't know. I don't know how true that really is, but I remembered it. So I came up with the idea to go out in the street and flag down the big black cabbies, and just propose to a cab driver. Listen, do me a favor. We'll pay you some money if you could become a member of a club, of a casino, and sign us in, and we can go as your guests. Because I learned that the guests did not have to show ID. The
uh,
member has to show ID. The guests do not have to show ID. So that was our hope. So, this is a crazy idea. My buddies and I we were talking about. They said, "You're crazy. You're just gonna get in a cab and you're gonna ask some stranger to sign you into a casino. You think somebody's gonna do that?" And I said, "Well, you know what? We can get into a lot of cabs. We have nothing else to do right now because we can't go into the casinos, right? We can get into a lot of cabs, in a day or two. I'll just get in a cab. I'll pop the question right away, and if the guy says no, we'll get out. We could maybe get into 50 cabs in one day, right?" So we get out, we get out in the street, and but first of all, it was only me and one other guy getting into the cab, because we didn't want to have four guys getting in a cab, and that might scare off the driver or something like that. So we get me and one of my buddies, we get in the cab, and I say to the first guy, yeah, and I made it like a 5-minute ride, so we'd have a little time to talk. So yeah, could you take us here? And so we got in the cab, and we're in the cab, and then all of a sudden I'd say, yeah, let me ask you something. You ever been to the casinos here? We're new, and we've never been here before. And I'd start this rap, and finally I'd end up asking, "Hey, how'd you like to make 500 pounds?" And the guy said, "What, mate? 500 pounds for what? What do I got to do?" "Well, you just gotta sign us into a casino." And then all of a sudden they heard that. "No, are you crazy? No." Well, we went through 15 or 20 of them, and then one guy, he said, "Get the hell out of my cab. What do you think? What do you think this is?" Right? Because I figured maybe we were offering too much money. Maybe they thought of who knows, right? But we decided to try it a few more times at 500 pounds, and then finally, and it was the second day. We went through one day, we went bust. No, nobody would do it. And on the second day, this big, gigantic, tall and fat cabbie said, "Sure, mate, no problem, I'll do it." And I said to him, "Really great." So I said, "Do you have a suit?" And because it's a classy joint, you gotta walk in there. He said, "No, mate, I ain't got a suit." I ended up. I took the guy. This guy was huge. He was 20 stone at least. stone being 14 pounds, I believe. So he weighed like
Yeah, he took a
208
stone.
pounds.
Yeah.
He was like six. Yeah, he was more than 2 meters tall, which is like 6'6" or 6'7". The guy was a giant, and he needed a shave, and so I took him all over London looking for a place to buy him a suit, and finally we had to go to a special place. So we had to have a suit made for him, which costs 800 pounds.
Oh.
Okay, so I had to invest 800 pounds in this guy and get him a suit, hold him a shave, got him cleaned up, and we we prepared for it. We had to wait to 2 days, and I explained to him, we're just a couple of guys. Of course, I wasn't going to tell him the truth that
No.
he's going to about to sign in the biggest professional casino cheat in the world. So I said to him, okay, here we go. Just when we go into the casino, just stay away from us, and then we'll tell you when we're ready to leave, and then we'll be done. So we go into the first casino, right? And right before we get in, I give him 100 pounds, and I said, just go ahead, have a good time, and we'll come and get you when it's over, right? So he goes his way with the 100 pounds, and the casino's jammed, and everything in Europe, or especially in the UK, it's all roulette. It's not like blackjack in the United States or baccarat in Asia. Everybody loves roulette. So we do our thing, and it's extremely challenging on the roulette wheels. They have an inspector, which pit bosses are called inspectors in the UK, and there's an inspector sitting high above on a ladder chair, overlooking the wheel, right on top of the wheel on the roulette layout, and it's like this, staring there like this, or stares at the layout. And in the United States, you have one roaming supervisor for 4 games, if that. So this was really basically, we had to do the move right under the inspector's eye. We had to switch chips in and out right under the inspector's nose. And we created a little tiny 1 second diversion to be able to do that. And we did it. And we were doing very, big moves, for 7,000 pounds per move, which at the time was $15,000 per move. So we did the first one, got paid, no problem, no heat, nothing. Then to make the story short, we went into the second casino, did it again, no problem. The third casino, did it again, no problem. So now we're up $50,000 American. And on the fourth casino, we walk into the casino, and we also know, Peter, because we have our own inner surveillance and security system. We knew that all three of those moves that we did in 3 different casinos in London, we knew that they were spotless. No, there was no heat, there was nothing, and we had the cabbie sign into 6 different casinos, become a guest in 6 different casinos. So on the fourth one, we're all ready to do the move. And I had signed into that casino. My name was Mr. Morales. I just made that name up. They didn't ask me for ID. I was just Mr. Morales. And, they weren't suspicious that I wasn't Latino or anything like that. It just came out of my mouth, Mr. Morales. So we're at the fourth casino, and we're getting ready to do the move. Everything is fine. And all of a sudden, I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around, and there's really a distinguished looking guy standing in front of me, and he says to me, Mr. Morales, I want to introduce myself. I'm the president here of the casino, and I'm sorry to inform you, but you have to leave. So would you please come with me, and we'll get you cashed out, because I had a whole bunch of chips with me. But it was before we did the move, and I was stunned, Peter, completely stunned. I had no idea what was going on, because
Yeah.
I knew everything we had done in London was spotless.
Yeah.
Spotless. And although I also knew that London casinos at the time, and probably still do, have the best intercommunication of any casino jurisdiction in the world. I mean, something happens in London in one casino, they know about it in another casino, and instantly almost back then I'm talking about, they called around before the internet and everything. So I was stunned. I didn't know what it was. The guy was very polite to me, and he said, "There's a car out in front, ready to take you wherever you need to go." And the car was a Rolls Royce, right? So
Wow.
I got in the car. I got in the car, Still had no idea what happened, but and we had an emergency meeting place as a team, uh, where we would meet. It was a bar, and I didn't take the Rolls Royce. I didn't take the Rolls Royce right to the bar. I took it a few blocks away, then got out and walked to the bar. And I walk in there, and I'm alone. None of my teammates are there. And also the cabbie, we told the cabbie he should be there too. He should go there too if we get lost or something, right? So I'm sitting there, trying to figure out what happened. And then one of my buddies walks in the same place. And I look at him, he looks at me, and we're like, wow, what happened? And he explained what happened. The same exact thing. The guy came over to him, and then the third guy, the same exact thing. And then the fourth guy, the same exact thing. So all four of us are sitting in the bar wondering why we were just thrown out of this casino in London after doing three beautiful
Yeah.
$15,000 moves that nobody had a clue. Nobody had a clue. And we're discussing this and discussing this. And meanwhile, we're waiting for the cabbie to show up. Cabbie doesn't show up. So that now we're thinking all kinds of ridiculous things. Did he rat us out? Did he tell them what was going on? But that made no sense. So we're sitting there, and finally the place closes and we have to leave. We go back to the hotel, and we're waiting. We don't know what to do. And then it's like 7 in the morning now, and all of a sudden the telephone in the room rings, and I pick up the room, and it's the cabbie on the phone, and he's saying, "Yeah, sorry, mate, but I had a little problem in the casino. I'm down here in jail right now. Can you come and bail me out?" And I said, "You're what?" He goes, "I'm down here in jail. I mean, here we are. We've been cheating these casinos out of all this money, and we're they're giving us a Rolls Royce chauffeur drive around London, and and he's in jail." I said, "What, are you kidding me?" He said, "Well, I had a little problem, right? So can you please come on down and get me?" So I went down to the police
Station.
police
Yeah.
station. Yeah, I went down to the station. I bailed him out, and I said, "What happened?" And he explained it to me. And when I heard it, Peter, it was it was unbelievable. The story was that when we walked into that fourth casino there was a very wealthy gentleman, a gambler, and his wife was with him, and his wife was gambling at a £5 minimum table, playing blackjack. I mean, they did have blackjack, of course, and some people played it, but the big action was on the roulette. And as I had told the cabbie to stay away from us, he went to the blackjack and he was playing there. And he decided, he lost $100 that we gave him, or he was losing most of it. And he decided he was going to start stealing £5
No.
chips to wife. And he got caught. He got caught in the
Oh.
casino stealing, and made a big deal out of it. So they decided to arrest him, and that was very hard. It was very hard to get arrested in a London casino back then. And he got arrested. And when he told me that story, I yelled at him. I said, "What are you, a damn thief? How could you do that to us, right? You're a damn thief." Here we are, the biggest thieves in the world, and I'm yelling and screaming at him. And so that little thing, you could never count on everything, right? Everything was perfect. It was going great. And we're doing good. We're making all this money. And we would have gone on to make, maybe 150, $200,000 at least. And that cut our trip short. And that's one of my funny stories.
And I mean, technology and surveillance has continued to improve. So isn't it the kind of end of the era for the casino cheats?
That's absolutely au contraire. Absolutely, completely the opposite. The fact is that as the technology improves, so does the technology of the cheats these days. I mean, you keep hearing about these tremendous scams, especially in baccarat, using cameras, filming cards, transmitting signals to other people who transmit the signal back, give the information to the players at the table who cheat. Uh, and another thing I would mention to that, to negate that theory, is that what happens when the technology goes up? What do you think happens to the people in the casino? Their brain power in the casino goes down, not because they're not intelligent people, but because they rely 100% on the technology. And at the end of the day, whether it's RFID chips, radio
Yeah.
frequency identification, okay, whether it's that or whether it's artificial intelligence, facial recognition, whatever the technology is, it comes down to the human being at the end who has to interpret the data and has to know how to make the right decisions based on the data they're getting from the technology. So the performance of the people on the floor who are the first line of defense in casino cheating, no matter how good the technology is, if they're not on the ball and they don't make the right decisions, they're not going to catch anybody. They're not going to catch any cheats. So and like I mentioned, the cheats these days are armed with the real professional cheats. You know, I'm not talking about the run of the mill cheats. The real professional cheats are armed with the same technology. So that cat and mouse game is the same as it was when I was cheating back in the day.
So, I mean, well, March 2024 sees your game protection training seminar in Las Vegas. Can you tell us what you have planned for this event at the Sahara Casino, which is I believe the 5th to 7th of March?
Like that. Okay. The Global Table Games and Game Protection Conference, taking place March 5th through March 7th at the Sahara Las Vegas. It is a very unique conference because it brings together two sectors of the casino industry, table games and surveillance security, that really are symbiotic. And the purpose of this conference is to bring these two sectors together and establish a much better working relationship between them while training them at the same time in all the latest developments in both sectors, table games and surveillance and security. For instance, in table games, we have marketing, we have player development, we have product development, all kinds of things that are important to table games. On the surveillance side, we have AI, we have the technology, and then we have a lot of topics that merge to both that are very equally important to both of the sectors, such as AI and the facial recognition and the technology. And also, a lot of people don't know in the casino industry, and sometimes these departments are interrelated in things on things you wouldn't think they are, such as marketing and surveillance. So we train departments on how to, incorporate more useful relationships. For instance, in marketing, what does marketing do mainly? What marketing mainly does is they bring the players to the casino. They advertise, publicize to get more players at the casino. Now, how does that affect surveillance? Well, a lot of these players that marketing brings to the casino may be players that the casino really doesn't want. People like me, for instance, or who have the capabilities that I had back in the day. They in those thousands of people that marketing is reaching out to, you have some bad apples, you have some cheats, you have some credit scammers. You could have anything. So this is why now more and more marketing is working with surveillance to make sure that the marketing lists are going out to the right people, which means that the right people are being brought to the casino. So what we do at the conference is we bring together the top speakers in the world, from both from table games operations, from surveillance, from compliance. We also have marketing speaking on player development, and on surveillance, we do a lot about the technology, facial recognition. I mean, it's all it's all cutting edge stuff. And this is the third year of the conference. It's very, very difficult to pull off a conference like this. But fortunately, the first event was successful, which led me to be able to do the second and now the third event. And we're expecting 300 or so attendees, which is a really nice crowd. And we're doing it right in the main theater, the main entertainment theater of the Sahara, which is a beautiful, brand newly renovated hotel casino in Las Vegas. And I'm really excited about it. And maybe we'll see you there this year, Peter.
Definitely. Well, I mean, yeah, last time you got a pretty strong international undertaking from attendees as well. I know there's people from representatives from casinos in Europe that attended last one. So I guess you're going to be marketing this pretty heavily worldwide.
International people coming to the show, and we have to cover everything that's going on internationally, because what's going on in Macau is somewhat and usually different than what's going on in the U.S. or in Europe. One thing, the cheating in Macau usually is for much more money. The scams are bigger, and usually more than in the United States, let's say. It's much more generated by the employees. You read about all these huge baccarat scams. Another thing about Macau that you don't see that much in other areas of the world are the counterfeiting of the chips scams. Since you have such big casinos there with tons of chips and high denomination chips, for instance, in the United States, you would only see counterfeiting scams involving $100 chips. In Macau, $500,000 chips get counterfeited, because there's so much action, and these chips are in use in casinos that they can be counterfeited. And so, we pay attention to, in table games, you have different table game structures in each international jurisdiction. So we cover all of it. We want to keep growing, and the way to keep growing is to get more of the world involved in your conference, and that is exactly what I'm trying to do.
So what would you say are the key benefits gained from delegates attending from these various departments at casinos?
In a word, it's training, because what it is a training event. Even though there's entertainment, even though people have a lot of fun, they come away. The attendees come away with knowledge, and it's up to the date knowledge, because like in any other industry, things develop, especially in the technology area. Like what's happened in the last year, well, it's only been, say, 6 months from the last conference. Already new things are happening in artificial intelligence. Right now, they're talking about casual artificial intelligence. They're talking about AGI, which is artificial general intelligence? I forgot what the G is, but it's another expansion of AI. And so it's that never-ending knowledge, because table games need to get all the knowledge they can get to satisfy their customers better, bring new games in. On one thing very strong about the conference is we stress a lot new table games development. We even have a big contest, because a lot of the exhibitors are new games developers, and they bring their new products, their new games, and we have a vote, which are the top 3 best new table games, and they get automatic installation of their new games into casinos through the sponsors of my conference. And surveillance needs to stay on the cutting edge of the technology to catch the cheats, because the cheats always stay on the cutting edge of technology. So it's just knowledge and training that make this conference so important.
So I guess the final question is, how can readers register for the event and so find out more about the event?
To register and read all about the event, you can go to globaltablegamesprotection.com, globaltablegamesprotection.com. I'm also putting out a monthly newsletter now, and people can subscribe to it via the website. I'm going to be doing some podcasts beginning in a few weeks from now talking about subjects that we will be talking about more in depth at the conference. And I'm personally I'm on LinkedIn. People can ask me about it, any questions they want, or email me at richard@globaltablegamesprotection.com. And it's out there. It's very accessible. It's I'm doing everything I can to notify all casino jurisdictions in the world about this conference, which is still relatively new in its third year.
I see. And what we'll also do is on the description, we'll add in the links as well. And also we'll add in the links, if you like, to your books as well. So any viewers that wish to find out more about your previous life will be able to get themselves a copy of the book. Well, all I can say is it's been a real pleasure. So and look forward to catching up with you. Thank you very much, Richard, for your time. And for viewers, it's about 5 a.m. in Las Vegas. So we really appreciate your efforts for making this interview happen. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Peter. Like always, it is a pleasure being with you. I remember the first time I met you at one of my seminars in London. You were great, and I always love having a chat with you. Thank you very much, Peter.